Welcome into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. It's the show that highlights Giles, Lawrence, and Maury counties from the pages of your local newspapers. I'm Scott Stewart, publisher of your local newspapers, the Pulaski Citizen, Main Street Maury, and the Lawrence County Advocate. Here are some of the events that you will find in this week's edition of your local newspapers. In Lawrence County, Loretto's Oktoberfest starts October the 5th and runs through October the 12th. October the 5th will be the opening worship service at Weathers Park Gazebo beginning at 5 p.m. on Sunday. See this week's Lawrence County Advocate for the remainder of the week's schedule. In Maury County this week's Piggly Wiggly two-page ad celebrates their Oktoberfest sale that starts today. Get your copy of Main Street Maury to find out all the deals going on at the Pig down at Neely's Mill. Also, looking ahead a week, the Kiwanis Club's annual chili cook-off is October the 11th and will be part of Fall Fest in downtown Columbia. In Giles County, you can't shake a stick without hitting a festival. There's one on each end of the county this weekend, with Minor Hill holding their annual Fall on the Hill Fall Fest from 2 to 8 p.m. And up north, it's the annual Campbellsville Heritage Festival from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'd love to get you a copy of your local newspaper every week delivered to your mailbox with a subscription. Here's how you do it. Call 931-363-3544, call 931-762-1726, or 615-452-4940, or visit PulaskiCitizen.com, MainStreetMaury.com, LawrenceCountyAdvocate.net, any of those numbers, any of those websites to find out everything you need to know for an online traditional subscription to any of our papers or websites. All right, Andrew, Chandler, Maurice, myself, we're coming back. Well, let's get those wraps started right now. The Lawrence County Advocate wrap starts this week with the recent Lawrence County Commission meeting in which they elected Shane Eaton, the chairman of the commission, among a long list of other items on their agenda. Also on A1, a crash at the intersection of Highway 64 and Fall River Road has claimed the life of a young Lawrence County man. Finally, on the front page, Braden Rice, a 2024 Loretto High School graduate, was a VIP attendee of a recent Tennessee Titans game and was allowed onto the field with his family and friends during the game. Inside, the 5th annual Pink Party at First Baptist Church, Lawrenceburg, is set for October 21st. The Lawrenceburg City Council will consider the second reading of a food truck ordinance next week. The Lawrence County School Board met recently and, among other items, re-elected John Daniel as their chairman. The chamber has announced Christmas parade details, including this year's theme. State officials are warning of a new drug on the streets. We've got the fairest of the fair winners this week in the Advocate. Free flu shots are coming to Lawrence County. The annual Advocate Halloween coloring contest starts running this week in the Advocate. Trey Donovan comes to the conclusion that the root of the world's problem is each of us separated from God, but the solution is the saving grace of Jesus Christ. His column is a must-read this week. Mr. Henry asked a question that really all of us want to know. Who would have thought it? Catherine Barona Beckman is the Loretto Lioness of the Year. Lawrenceburg Rotary's Paul Wayne becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. We've got the senior citizen schedule for the month of October. We've got 2 pages of Oktoberfest information, including a full schedule. And Mr. Beard recalls more of his trip to Spain in 2022. Also, there's a lot more to see in the Advocate this week, including local obituaries, local community announcements, government notices, auctions, and estate sales, 2 pages of puzzles and comics, Tennessee Valley weather, and your local church directory, among many more. Also, don't forget this week to honor your favorite veteran in the upcoming Lawrence County Advocate Annual Veterans Day Salute. That will run in our November 5th edition. Find all you need to know in the ad in this week's edition. Well, that's it for the Lawrence County Advocate this week. We'll be right back after this.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
833.
Bee, oh, busy bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Now
busy
ready,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
Columbia Power and Water Systems is dedicated to bringing our customers reliable, local service. Whether you're turning on a light switch, your faucet, or streaming on TV, our dedicated team members from here in Maury County work every day to keep you on. If you need us, call us 931-388-4833 or visit cpws.com. CPWS, local service, local support.
Hello, Maury County. I'm your Main Street Maury reporter, Andrew Pearson, and this is the news from our first issue in October. On our front page, we've got a photo from Kenny Koenig of the Mid-South Live Steamers event at Maury County Park. Hobbyists brought their steam-powered trains, 1/8 of the size of a normal locomotive, to ride around the tracks at the park, and people loved it. They'll be back in the spring for another meetup. In our biggest piece of news, Maury Regional Medical Center announced its plans to open a residency program last week. The University of Tennessee will send 10 doctors each year to Maury Regional to practice inpatient and outpatient care, giving additional staff and funding and opportunities to the hospital, and hopefully funneling a lot of primary care doctors into southern Middle Tennessee. The Mule House held its grand reopening about a year after it came under new ownership last week. Daniel Medina, an investor who lives in Franklin and has a history of turning a profit on properties and debts, bought it for a bit over $4 million in August last year and allowed shows and events to continue since then. Amy Fish thanked him on behalf of the staff, many of whom stuck with the venue through hard financial times because they really believed in it, and asked people to keep spreading the word about the Mule House. Spring Hill's Planning Commission considered several new building proposals last week, including 2 large municipal buildings on Beechcroft Road, the next 2 sections of the Royalton Woods subdivision, and Phase 2 of Arbor Valley. Mayor Federer objected to the impacts of traffic and construction on the neighbors of Royalton Woods, and the Planning Commission sent the developer back to the drawing board to make changes before their next meeting. And finally, charges have been filed against the man who allegedly hit Mike Wolf and his girlfriend Letitia Klein 2 weeks ago. Lerone Heads of Columbia faces allegations of driving under the influence, vehicular assault, and failure to yield for running into the Star of American picker on Santa Fe Pike. Fortunately, Wolf and Klein are in stable condition right now, and they both got to come home from Vanderbilt Hospital, Klein after some pretty serious surgery. In our other news, we wrap up Breakfast with the Mayors, which happened 2 weeks ago in Columbia. We tell you to look out for the Kiwanis Chili Cook-Off on the square next Saturday. The Tennessee Aluminum Processors plant caught fire early last Wednesday morning. Spring Hill police are seeking leads on a white SUV that hit a 13-year-old boy on a scooter on Newport Royal Road. And in a heartwarming story on our last page, local student Ryan Wilmore has recovered from acute leukemia and resumed his business studies at Tennessee Tech. Congratulations, Ryan. That's the A section news for this week. Thank you for tuning into our wrap. We've got lots of other stories in our B section, which contains sports, op-eds, and classifieds. Pick up a copy of Main Street Maury today at a grocery or convenience store near you, or enjoy the articles with your subscription, either online or in print. And thank you once again for continuing to care about and support local journalism.
Is your internet slowing you down? Well, it's time for an upgrade. Unleash the speed you need at home or at work with CPWS Internet. You can get speeds up to 1 gig for as low as $70 a month. No contracts, no hassle, just pure, powerful internet. Give us a call today at 931-375-7777 to order. Local service, local support, CPWS.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all, hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
833.
Bee, oh, busy bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Not
busy
already,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
This is Chandler Harmon bringing you this week's Pulaski Citizen Wrap. And we'll start this week with our Citizen Spotlight of Tracy Rackley. Her photo graces the spot of honor at the top and center of our front page. Also in A1, the reduction of the number of county commissioners was sent back to the committee for further review following discussion at their September 15th meeting. The proposal is to go from 21 commissioners to 14. The Legislative Committee will discuss the proposal during their meeting on October 2nd. Minor Hills Fall on the Hill is scheduled for Saturday, October 4th from 2 to 8 p.m. Admission will be $5 per person, with kids under the age of 3 getting in for free. The Campbellsville Area Association is inviting the public to celebrate history, heritage, and hometown fun at the annual Campbellsville Heritage Festival, Saturday, October 4th from 11 to 3. Pulaski Evening Rotary Club presented its latest Century Business Award to Bennett May and Pierce Funeral and Crematory. The beloved Cheers for the Girls event returns for its 13th year on Thursday, October 23rd at First National Bank in Pulaski, bringing the community together to raise awareness and funds for breast cancer awareness and funds for breast cancer research and support. Inside, Big Creek Winery is inviting the community to celebrate the season at its annual Autumn Fest on October 4th at the winery. The Pulaski Board of Mayor and Aldermen has approved granting an easement to AT&T to help expand cellular service in the community. The Giles County Board of Education is set to consider the purchase of new buses when it meets this week. A straw poll vote indicated the board was leaning towards 3 buses. Tippy is this week's GCHA Pet Corner Pet of the Week. And as always, the Pulaski Citizen has property transfers, backward glances, obituaries, government public notices, court dockets, community briefs, church directory, fun and games, Tennessee Valley weather, and church briefs. Well, that's it for us. We'll be right back after this.
Columbia Power and Water Systems is dedicated to bringing our customers reliable local service. Whether you're turning on a light switch, your faucet, or streaming on TV, our dedicated team members from here in Maury County work every day to keep you on. If you need us, call us 931-388-4833 or visit cpws.com. CPWS, local service, local support.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all, hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
833.
Bee, oh, busy bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Now
busy
ready,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton, Regional Sports Editor in Southern Middle Tennessee for Main Street Media. In this week's Pulaski Citizen, Lawrence County Advocate, and Main Street Maury, those would be the October 1st print issues for each of those. October, y'all. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Let's get started with our sports packages in this week's Pulaski Citizen. Again, a lot of football. Giles County with a big win this past weekend against Lincoln County, 28-20. It snapped a 2-game losing streak for the host Bobcats. It snapped a 5-game winning streak for the Lincoln County Falcons. So we've got coverage of that event from Chandler Harmon in this week's Pulaski Citizen. We've also got from Mark Mize coverage of Richland's Region 5 1A victory over Eagleville, 37-7. The Raiders won. And special teams, a big part of that. A couple of special teams touchdowns for the Raiders in that one. Alan Kennedy with an 87-yard kickoff return, one of his 2 touchdowns Friday night. Also, Chase Thomason with a blocked punt that he recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. So special teams getting it done for the Raiders in a 37-7 win over Eagleville. More from Mark Mize in this week's print edition of the Pulaski Citizen. We've also got our weekly Larry Woody Outdoors contributions, and Mostradamus tells you who's going to win in Week 7's high school football action. So again, be sure and pick up this week's Pulaski Citizen, the October 1st edition. Over in Lawrence County, in the Advocate this week, the host Wildcats, the Lawrence County Wildcats, dropped a 28-14 decision to the visiting Tullahoma Wildcats in a Thursday night contest. We've got coverage of that one. Second straight loss for LCHS after beginning the year 4-0. But the details, again, in this week's Advocate. Also, we've got details from Loretto going on the road to Decatur County Riverside in Region 5-2A action and becoming the Panthers' first victim of the season. Riverside 0-5 coming into that game, picked up a 23-20 victory despite a couple of pick sixes, couple of interceptions returned for touchdowns by the Mustangs in that one. Again, details in the Advocate. Also, details of Summertown's tough loss over at Lewis County. Those Panthers are undefeated, 6-0 in 6-0 overall, 3-0 in Region 5-2A play with that win. Again, details in the Advocate. We've also got details of Summertown's boys and girls golf team sweeping the 11A district tournament championship, heading into this week's region golf play. The region actually took place yesterday as we sit here talking now. Yesterday up at Buford Ellington Golf Course at Henry Horton State Park in Chapel Hill. Do not have those results yet, but be sure and check the website at lawrencecountyadvocate.net to get caught up on the Summertown Eagles and Lady Eagles on the links this week. Finally, more contributions from Larry Woody's outdoors coverage and Mostradamus's Week 7 predictions for the upcoming high school football weekend. All of that, again, in this week's print edition of the Lawrence County Advocate. In Main Street Maury this week, a lot of football as well. Spring Hill picking up its second straight victory this past weekend, outscoring Creekwood 42-34 on Friday night. We've got coverage of how they went about doing that and improving to 2-4 and 1-0 in Region 5-4A action, the Raiders. Mount Pleasant continues to roll. Big homecoming victory over Scotts Hill. We've got coverage of that as well. Also, Summit dropping a Region 6-6A matchup against Shelbyville. Independence scoring 3 first-half touchdowns and downing Franklin 21-7 in another Region 6-6A showdown there. Coverage of all that, along with Zion Christian picking up their second straight win as well, going up to Innovation Academy and winning 28-8 this past week. And Columbia Academy continues to struggle, dropping a tough one up at Good Pasture over the weekend, 42-7. Again, coverage of all that football in this week's Main Street Maury, the October 1st edition. More high school golf. Summit's girls won their district tournament. Independence had a couple of boys advance out of their district tournament into region play. We got coverage of all that. Also, Columbia Academy had 4 golfers advance from district play into region play this week. All of that in the print edition. Big news out of Columbia State as the Chargers men's basketball team had a scholarship endowed recently. We've got details on that announcement in the print edition of Main Street Maury. Also, we've got middle school football scores and schedules as they wind up their season this week. Last week's scores, this week's games, including the Maury County Championships between, well, the championship game will be between Battle Creek and Whitthorne. It'll be played at Lindsey Nelson Stadium on Thursday. That game will be preceded by a matchup between Mount Pleasant and E.A. Cox for the third place trophy out of the Maury County Public Schools loop there. So again, coverage of all that in this week's Main Street Maury. Also, Larry Woody and his contributions, Mostradamus and his predictions, all in the October 1st print edition of Main Street Maury. Online at PulaskiCitizen.com, LawrenceCountyAdvocate.net, and MainStreetMaury.com. We will get you everything that happens between now and next week. So if you don't want to wait until the October 8th print edition, be sure and look online for all of our local sports coverage. I'm Maurice Patton, Regional Sports Editor for Southern Middle Tennessee for Main Street Media. We'll see y'all next week.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
We'll go Wednesday morning. Taylor Plott here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check on your forecast. Starting off your Wednesday, just a lot of sunshine around, temperatures in the 60s. They'll quickly rise back up into the 80s once we get to the afternoon hours with just some passing clouds. Very, very low chance of an isolated shower during your Wednesday. Wednesday evening, mostly dry, just some passing clouds once again. Temperatures dropping down into the 70s. And then we do it all over again for your Thursday, except for Thursday, even that low-end rain chance really goes down to around that 0% range. Here is your 7-day forecast. We do see some slight increasing rain chances as we head into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday at the end of that 7-day forecast. Temperatures will start to trend down, though, across the region going into Friday and Saturday, with temperatures down into the lower 80s for highs and back into the 50s for lows.
Hey, that's it for Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee this week. Make sure you get a copy of your local newspaper so that you don't miss a minute or a second of the coverage that we have lined up for you all across Southern Middle Tennessee. For more information on subscribing to any of our local newspapers, you can visit one website, and one website will do it all. That is MainStreetMediaTN.com. That's MainStreetMediaTN.com. And again, we thank you for trusting us as your source for local news, information, sports, and more. And good Lord willing, we're going to be right back here next week on Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee.